Is that Jesus Christ? Please. Please, oh Father God. Mom, es un hombre. Es un hombre.
In a world dominated by logic and science, some baffling moments still manage to distort our imagination. Whether it's an act of divine intervention or simply the universe bending the rules, these miracles stand to prove that some things transcend the realm of logic. From miraculous escapes to unexplainable phenomena, these are 20 real miracles caught on camera. Number 20. The Voice. In March 2015, a chilling yet miraculous event unfolded in Spanish Fork, Utah, when a police officer responded to a call about a car submerged in the icy waters of the Spanish Fork River. As the officer, Tyler Beddoes, and his team approached the overturned vehicle, they heard what sounded like desperate cries for help. Rushing to the scene, they found the car partially submerged, with its front end crushed against the riverbank. Believing that someone inside was still alive, the officers waded into the freezing water and fought against the current to reach the vehicle. What they discovered was both tragic and astonishing. Inside the car, they found the lifeless bodies of a young couple who had apparently died on impact. However, in the back seat, they found an 18-month-old baby girl, Lily Grosbeck, miraculously still alive, hanging upside down in her car seat above the frigid water. Despite being trapped for 14 hours in freezing temperatures, Lily showed signs of life, and the officers quickly rescued her from the wreckage. The rescue team was left baffled by the voice they all claimed to have heard, as the only people in the car were the deceased couple and the baby, who was too young to speak. This mysterious voice led them to act quickly, saving the infant's life. The event was widely reported, with many seeing it as a miracle, a guardian angel guiding the rescuers to save the little girl just in time. Number 19. The Eucharist Miracle. On August 18, 1996, Father Alejandro Pezet was saying Holy Mass in a Catholic church in Buenos Aires, Argentina. During communion, a parishioner alerted him to a consecrated host that had been discarded at the back of the church. Father Alejandro placed the host in a container of water and stored it in the tabernacle, following standard protocol. However, something extraordinary happened. By Monday, August 26th, the host had transformed into a reddish, bloody substance. Alarmed and recognizing the potential significance of this event, the parish informed Cardinal Jorge Bergoglio, the future Pope Francis, who instructed that the host be professionally examined. The sample was sent to renowned scientists for analysis. Dr. Ricardo Castañón Gómez, a former atheist who had converted to Christianity, spearheaded the investigation. He sent the sample to Dr. Frederick Zugibe, a well-known forensic pathologist in the United States, without revealing its origin to ensure an unbiased analysis. Dr. Zugibe concluded that the substance was indeed human flesh and blood, specifically from the myocardium, the muscle found in the human heart. Furthermore, the blood was identified as type AB, a rare blood type also found in other Eucharistic miracles and on the Shroud of Turin. This miraculous event, caught on video, remains one of the most compelling cases of a Eucharistic miracle, leaving both believers and scientists in awe of its inexplicable nature. Number 18. Priest vanishes after anointing crash victim. In August 2013, a mysterious event unfolded in the small town of Center, Missouri, that continues to baffle witnesses and inspire countless retellings. After a devastating head-on collision on a rural highway, 19-year-old Katie Lentz was trapped in her mangled car, critically injured and losing hope. Emergency responders worked tirelessly to free her, but the situation seemed grim. Then, out of nowhere, a priest appeared on the scene. Dressed in clerical garb, he approached the wreckage with a calm and reassuring presence. Despite the chaotic environment, the priest prayed over Katie, anointed her with oil, and offered words of comfort. Witnesses described a sudden sense of peace that washed over the scene. Even more astonishing, shortly after the priest's prayer, rescuers successfully freed Katie from the car, an outcome they had feared was impossible. But when the dust settled, the mystery deepened. The priest, who had been visible to everyone, had vanished without a trace. He wasn't seen walking away, and there was no sign of him in the immediate area. The local diocese and several nearby churches were contacted, but none could identify the priest based on the descriptions provided. His image, briefly captured by a news crew's camera, remains one of the only pieces of evidence of his presence. Many have since referred to this enigmatic figure as a guardian angel in disguise, a divine intervention that saved Katie's life when all seemed lost. Despite numerous efforts to identify him, the vanishing priest remains an unsolved miracle that continues to capture the imagination of all who hear the story. Number 17. Chelsea Baton and a Guardian Angel. In 2008, a heartwarming and mysterious story emerged from Texas, involving a young girl named Chelsea Baton. At just 14 years old, Chelsea had faced a lifetime of severe health challenges, including a range of chronic illnesses that left her frequently hospitalized. Her fragile condition worsened, and by November of that year, Chelsea was battling a severe case of pneumonia. After enduring weeks in the hospital with no improvement, doctors prepared her family for the worst. As Chelsea lay on life support, her mother, Colleen Baton, was forced to make an agonizing decision. They planned to remove her daughter from life support and let her pass peacefully. But just before they could proceed, something extraordinary happened. Hospital security cameras captured an unexplained figure outside Chelsea's room, a bright, glowing light resembling an angelic form. The image stunned both hospital staff and Chelsea's family, who took it as a sign of divine intervention. Remarkably, at that very moment, Chelsea's condition began to improve. Her vital signs stabilized, and against all odds, she made a miraculous recovery, eventually leaving the hospital weeks later. The mysterious light, seen clearly in the security footage, was never explained by natural causes or technical anomalies. Many who witnessed the event believe it was a guardian angel sent to watch over Chelsea in her most desperate hour. Number 16. Dog leads rescuers to lost child. In the remote Sakha Republic of Russia, a remarkable rescue unfolded when a 3-year-old girl, Karina Chikitova, went missing in the freezing Siberian wilderness. Karina had wandered away from her home and became lost in a dense, wolf-infested forest. The harsh conditions and freezing temperatures posed a severe threat to her survival. Karina's pet dog played a crucial role in her miraculous rescue. The loyal puppy stayed by her side throughout the ordeal, providing warmth and comfort as Karina hid in long grass and survived on wild berries and river water. After enduring nearly 2 weeks in the wilderness, the dog made its way back home to seek help. The rescue operation was significantly aided by the dog, which led rescuers to Karina's location. Dramatic footage from the rescue revealed the moment when Karina was discovered, hiding fearfully in the grass. Despite her ordeal, she was remarkably conscious and in relatively good condition given the circumstances. Rescuers reported that Karina was very light, weighing only about 10 kilograms, but she was alert and responsive when found. The story of Karina and her dog captivated many, highlighting the incredible bond between humans and animals, and the extraordinary lengths to which pets will go to protect their loved ones. Number 15. The balloon gift. In a touching and mysterious moment, a grieving mother in Alabama received an unexpected gift during her son's funeral that many believe was a sign from beyond. In May 2016, at the funeral service for 3-year-old Tristan Trevino, who had tragically passed away after battling a rare illness, the air was filled with sorrow. Tristan's mother, Laura Trevino, was overcome with grief as she said her final goodbyes. As the service was underway, a solitary white balloon, one of many decorating the venue, broke free from the others. In a remarkable and inexplicable turn of events, the balloon seemed to have a mind of its own. It floated directly towards Laura, who was sitting at the front of the room. As it gently hovered over her, the balloon touched her face, as if offering comfort. It then lingered, staying close to her for several moments. This seemingly ordinary object took on profound significance for Laura and everyone present. The balloon's movement appeared deliberate, almost guided by an unseen hand, and many witnesses felt it was a message from Tristan, his way of telling his mother that he was still with her, watching over her from above. The event was captured on video, and the footage quickly went viral, touching the hearts of thousands around the world. Laura later described the moment as deeply comforting, a sign that her son was at peace and that she was not alone in her grief. Number 14. The mosque that survived tsunami. In December 2004, the Indian Ocean tsunami struck with catastrophic force, devastating coastal regions across Southeast Asia, including Indonesia. Among the many scenes of destruction, one story stands out for its extraordinary and miraculous nature. In the city of Banda Aceh, Indonesia, a mosque known as the Baitur Rahman Grand Mosque became a symbol of hope amidst the ruins. As the tsunami waves surged towards the city, the Baitur Rahman Grand Mosque, which stood in the heart of Banda Aceh, was engulfed by the massive wall of water. Remarkably, the mosque survived the disaster largely intact. While nearby buildings and homes were obliterated, the mosque's sturdy structure remained standing, its minarets reaching skyward as a beacon of resilience. This miraculous preservation was witnessed by many survivors who found solace and sanctuary within its walls in the aftermath of the tsunami. The survival of the Baitur Rahman Grand Mosque was widely reported and became a focal point in discussions about the disaster. Many saw it as a miracle, attributing the mosque's preservation to divine intervention, or as a sign of hope amidst the tragedy. The mosque's survival provided comfort and a focal point for the community's recovery. Number 13. Angel Cloud. On March 14, 2013, the skies over Florida were painted with what many believe was a divine sign. Deborah Tadema, a resident of Seminole, was outside enjoying the day when she looked up and noticed something extraordinary. A cloud formation in the sky appeared to take the shape of an angel, complete with outstretched wings and a glowing aura. Struck by the sight, Deborah quickly captured a photograph of the celestial figure, sharing it with friends and family, who were equally amazed. What makes this event even more intriguing is its timing. On the very same day, thousands of miles away in Vatican City, Pope Francis was anointed as the 266th Pope of the Catholic Church. The coinciding of these two events led many to believe that the angelic cloud was a heavenly sign marking the beginning of Pope Francis's papacy, a symbol of blessing and divine approval. Deborah's photograph quickly went viral, spreading across social media and news outlets, sparking discussions about its significance. While some skeptics dismissed the cloud as a coincidental shape formed by the wind, others saw it as an undeniable sign of a higher power at work. For Deborah and many others, the angel cloud was more than just a weather phenomenon. It was a moment of spiritual connection and awe. Number 12. Survivors of the Andes plane crash. On October 13, 1972, a twin-engine plane carrying a Uruguayan rugby team crash-landed high in the Andes Mountains, leading to a story of survival that would later be known as the Miracle of the Andes. The flight, which had 45 passengers mostly composed of young rugby players, encountered severe turbulence as it flew over the Andes en route to Chile. Initially, the passengers remained unfazed, even cheering as the plane dropped several hundred feet. However, their excitement quickly turned to terror when the plane hit a second air pocket and they saw the mountainside dangerously close through the windows. One of the passengers, Panchito Abal, expressed concern to his friend Nando Parado, who responded with unease. This was Parado's last memory before he lost consciousness. When Parado regained consciousness nearly 48 hours later, he found himself in the aftermath of a disaster. The plane had crashed in a glacial valley, its tail severed from the rest of the aircraft, and 11 passengers, including Abal and Parado's mother, were already dead. The survivors, numbering 29, were left stranded in the freezing cold with no means of communication, and their plane's fuselage buried in snow, making it nearly invisible to potential rescuers. As days turned into weeks, the survivors faced an agonizing decision. They had to consume the bodies of their deceased friends to survive. Despite the initial horror, the harsh conditions left them with no alternative. When the search was officially called off, their hope for rescue dimmed, but their determination to survive did not waver. After enduring 72 days of unimaginable hardship, only 16 emerged alive. Number 11. A near-fatal collision in Moscow. In Moscow, a dramatic and near-fatal collision unfolded involving a cyclist, a car, and a truck. The incident, which occurred on a bustling city street, was captured on surveillance cameras and quickly drew widespread attention due to its sheer intensity and the miraculous survival of the cyclist. The cyclist, identified as Igor Petrov, was riding his bike along a busy road when a car suddenly veered into his path. The car's unexpected movement caused Igor to lose control, and he was thrown into the path of an oncoming truck. The collision seemed inevitable as the truck approached at high speed. In a heart-stopping moment, the truck struck the cyclist, sending him flying through the air. The impact was severe, and the scene was a chaotic mix of screeching tires and shattered glass. Onlookers and emergency responders, who arrived within minutes, were astonished to find that Igor had survived the crash. Remarkably, Igor sustained only minor injuries despite the magnitude of the collision. The surveillance footage revealed the brutal force of the crash, but also highlighted how Igor's protective gear and a stroke of luck played crucial roles in saving his life. The car and truck drivers, both shaken by the incident, were found to be in compliance with traffic regulations, and the crash was attributed to a series of unfortunate events and split-second decisions. Number 10. Boy survives being run over by a train. In a heart-stopping incident in India, a young boy's life was miraculously saved by the quick actions of a brave railway worker. The boy, who was walking with his mother on a platform, suddenly lost his footing and fell onto the railway tracks. The terrifying fall left him vulnerable to an oncoming train, and with his vision impaired, the situation seemed hopeless. As the train approached, panic spread through the station. The boy's mother, helplessly watching from the platform, could do nothing but scream in horror. But just when it seemed that tragedy was inevitable, Meyer Shelka, a railway worker on duty, spotted the boy on the tracks. Without a second thought, Shelky sprang into action. He sprinted down the platform, racing against time and the oncoming train. In a dramatic moment captured on CCTV, Shelky reached the boy just in time, lifting him off the tracks and hoisting him back onto the platform, barely a second before the train rushed past. Shelky's incredible bravery won widespread applause online, with many hailing him as a hero. His actions not only saved the boy's life, but also highlighted the importance of vigilance and courage in moments of crisis. The incident was celebrated as a miracle, with many recognizing that the boy's survival was nothing short of extraordinary. Meyer Shelky's quick thinking and selfless bravery made all the difference that day, ensuring that what could have been a devastating tragedy ended in relief and gratitude. Number 9. Statue weeps blood. In the town of San Nicolas, Argentina, a statue of the Virgin Mary sparked widespread intrigue and debate in 2017 when it appeared to weep what looked like blood. The phenomenon was captured on a cell phone by a local resident, and the footage quickly went viral, attracting both devout believers and skeptical observers to the site. The statue, located in a local church, had long been a revered religious symbol. However, when it was seen shedding a red liquid from its eyes, it drew considerable attention. The sight of the statue weeping what seemed to be blood was both unsettling and compelling. Many of the faithful interpreted the event as a miraculous sign or a divine message, flocking to the church in droves to witness the phenomenon and offer prayers. In response, local authorities and church officials initially took a cautious approach, calling for a thorough investigation to determine the nature of the liquid. While some religious leaders embraced the event as a profound testament to faith, others urged scientific scrutiny to rule out any possible natural or mechanical explanations. The incident became a significant media event, with discussions and debates erupting across the community and beyond. It highlighted the powerful impact that such miraculous claims can have on spiritual communities. Number 8. Miracle in the floodwaters. In an astonishing turn of events, a 64-year-old woman from Colum experienced a miraculous escape after being swept away by the swollen Colada River. The river, which had surged dramatically due to recent heavy rains, carried Shyamalama of Kijake Kulakada nearly 10 kilometers downstream. The incident began when Shyamalama, who was washing clothes at the riverbank near her home, slipped into the gushing waters. The river's strong current and her inability to swim placed her in an extremely perilous situation. As she struggled to stay afloat, she clung to riverbank creepers in a desperate bid to hold on. Despite the dangerous conditions, Shyamalama managed to float on her back, drifting past several landmarks including the Chetiarajikath, Njankadavu, and Kunathur bridges. Remarkably, she was spotted by local residents who heard her cries for help. Although some onlookers on the Kunathur bridge filmed the dramatic scene, they initially feared that she might not survive the ordeal, as the footage showed her being carried away by the powerful current. In a twist that defied all odds, Shamalayama's cries reached the ears of rescuers, who managed to pull her from the river. Her survival was widely regarded as a miracle, capturing the imagination of many and demonstrating the extraordinary nature of her escape from what seemed like certain peril. Number 7. David Frederickson and the crash survivors. In a dramatic turn of events in Mississippi, David Frederickson emerged as an unexpected hero following a devastating car crash. On a quiet afternoon, Frederickson, a local resident, witnessed a severe accident on a rural highway. A multi-vehicle collision had left several people injured and trapped, creating a chaotic and urgent scene. Without hesitation, Frederickson sprang into action. Despite the danger and the severity of the situation, he navigated through the wreckage, assisting the injured and providing much-needed care. His quick thinking and bravery were evident as he helped to administer first aid to the survivors, offering comfort and support amid the chaos. Frederickson's actions extended beyond mere assistance. He worked alongside emergency responders, directing traffic to ensure that ambulances could reach the scene swiftly. His resourcefulness and calm under pressure played a crucial role in managing the immediate crisis. As a result, he was instrumental in stabilizing the situation until professional help arrived. The aftermath of the crash saw Frederickson's efforts praised by both survivors and emergency personnel. Number 6. The Miracle Baby of Haiti. In the aftermath of the catastrophic earthquake that struck Haiti in January 2010, a miraculous rescue captured the world's attention and offered a glimmer of hope amidst the devastation. As rescuers sifted through the rubble in Port-au-Prince, they made an astonishing discovery: a baby, alive after being entombed under the debris for 5 days. The scene was both heart-wrenching and inspiring. News crews filmed the dramatic moment as rescue teams carefully extracted the infant from the wreckage. Against all odds, the baby appeared remarkably well preserved, showing no signs of dehydration or serious injury. The child's survival was considered nothing short of a miracle, given the extreme conditions and length of time spent trapped. The news footage of the rescue quickly spread across media outlets, stirring emotions around the globe. The baby was promptly given medical attention and reunited with family members, who were overwhelmed with relief and gratitude. All right, guys, it's time for today's subscriber pick. In this image that's making waves online, we see a man whose arms appear to have been replaced by what look like giant chicken wings. The striking photo shows him lying on the ground, and the unusual sight has sparked a flurry of reactions. Some suggest that it is an angel, while others suggest that it could be a movie set, a wax figure, or even a cleverly edited picture. But it could be real, just like some of the miracles we've seen earlier in this video. After all, if these miracles were not filmed, no one would believe it. But what do you think about this image? Share your opinions in the comment section. Number 5. Surviving the lightning. In a remarkable miraculous story, Roy Sullivan, a former U.S. park ranger, gained notoriety for surviving being struck by lightning 7 times, an astonishing record that has captivated people worldwide. Born in 1912 in Greene County, Virginia, Sullivan's incredible streak of lightning strikes began in 1942 and continued over the next several decades, making him a legendary figure in the realm of unusual survival stories. Sullivan's first lightning strike occurred in 1942 while he was working as a fire lookout. During a storm, lightning struck the tower he was in, causing him severe burns and injuries. Despite the terrifying experience, Sullivan continued his work, only to be struck again in 1969 while driving his truck. This incident resulted in more severe injuries, including burns to his face and chest. The pattern continued, with Sullivan being struck in 1970 while in his truck, in 1972 while working in a field, in 1973 while working in a warehouse, and in 1976 during a storm while driving. Each strike caused varying degrees of injury, but miraculously, he survived them all. His final lightning strike came in 1977, and this time, Sullivan suffered burns on his legs and torso. Sullivan's remarkable survival through such repeated and extreme events earned him the nickname, the Human Lightning Rod. Despite his extraordinary experiences, Sullivan passed away in 1983 from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, reportedly due to depression. Number 4. In a remarkable story of faith and healing, a woman with terminal cancer experienced an inexplicable recovery at the Lourdes Grotto in France, a site renowned for its miraculous healings. Lourdes, a small town in southwestern France, has been a pilgrimage destination since 1858, when a young Bernadette Soubirous reported visions of the Virgin Mary in a grotto near the town. Over the years, numerous claims of miraculous cures have been reported, drawing millions of visitors seeking spiritual and physical healing. The woman in question, whose name has been kept private, traveled to Lourdes in a desperate attempt to find solace and hope. Diagnosed with terminal cancer, she was given little chance of survival and had been told that her condition was beyond medical intervention. Upon arriving at the Lourdes Grotto, she participated in the traditional rituals, including praying fervently and bathing in the holy spring water that is believed to possess miraculous properties. Astoundingly, after her visit, her cancer went into complete remission. Medical tests and scans confirmed the disappearance of all cancerous cells, leaving doctors and medical professionals baffled. Despite exhaustive examinations and skepticism, no scientific explanation could account for the sudden and complete recovery. The medical community could not dismiss the possibility of a miracle, considering the woman's previous terminal diagnosis and the extraordinary nature of her healing. Her case remains one of the most compelling testimonies of the reputed miracles associated with Lourdes. Number 3. The Miracle of the Hudson River. The Miracle of the Hudson River is a story of an event that unfolded on January 15, 2009. On that day, U.S. Airways Flight 1549, a commercial jet with 155 people on board, encountered a life-threatening crisis shortly after taking off from LaGuardia Airport in New York City. The Airbus A320 struck a flock of Canadian geese, which caused both engines to fail. With no engine power and the aircraft rapidly losing altitude, the situation appeared dire. Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger, an experienced pilot with decades of flying experience, was at the helm. Faced with an emergency that left him with few options, Sully made a split-second decision to ditch the plane in the Hudson River, a move that many would have considered impossible. His calm and precise execution of the maneuver was nothing short of extraordinary. As the plane touched down on the icy waters, the passengers were evacuated onto the wings and into life rafts. The dramatic rescue operation that followed was captured by numerous cameras, including those from nearby boats and news crews. The sight of passengers being plucked from the frigid river by emergency responders and boaters was broadcasted worldwide, turning Sully's miraculous landing into a symbol of heroism and safety. Remarkably, all 155 passengers and crew members survived the incident. The event has since been celebrated as a modern-day miracle. Number 2. Stained glass. Mary. In a captivating story from 2010, a stained glass window depicting the Virgin Mary at a church in Clearwater, Florida, became the center of an extraordinary phenomenon. The window, part of the St. Thomas Aquinas Church, began to attract widespread attention when a curious stain started to appear on its surface, seemingly taking on the likeness of the Virgin Mary. This unusual development quickly became a local sensation, drawing both believers and skeptics. The stain, which appeared to take the shape of the Virgin Mary's profile, was initially dismissed as a mere smudge. However, as it persisted and seemed to grow more defined, parishioners and visitors began to perceive it as a miraculous image. The phenomenon was captured in photographs and videos, which further fueled the excitement and curiosity surrounding the event. News of the stained glass window's miracle spread quickly, with many claiming it was a divine sign. Churchgoers and visitors flocked to see the window, bringing flowers, candles, and notes of devotion. The church even organized special prayer services and vigils in honor of the event. Local media coverage amplified the story, and it became a topic of discussion both within and outside the religious community. Skeptics offered explanations ranging from natural deterioration of the glass to coincidental patterns created by environmental factors. Number 1. Descending from the clouds. In a breathtaking and enigmatic event, a video captured what appeared to be a figure descending from the clouds, creating a sensation of awe and intrigue. The footage, recorded in a rural area of South America, shows a mysterious figure emerging from a dense cloud cover and slowly descending toward the ground. The video, which quickly went viral, has captivated viewers with its eerie and almost otherworldly quality. The event occurred in 2015 when a local resident, armed with a smartphone, noticed unusual cloud formations and began filming. As the video progresses, a shadowy, indistinct figure becomes visible as it descends slowly from the clouds. The figure, obscured by the cloud cover and backlit by the sun, appears to float gently before vanishing into the surrounding landscape. The clarity of the figure and its descent, combined with the absence of any obvious support structures or aircraft, has led to numerous speculations about its origin. Experts and skeptics alike have been intrigued by the footage. While some suggest it could be a rare meteorological phenomenon or an optical illusion created by the interplay of light and clouds, others lean towards more supernatural explanations. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching.